And I might have went, man, oh, what's going on, y'all? Pile in. What's going on? Ooh, woo, woo, woo. A lot of things going on in the world. We're going to have a conversation once a few people get here. Well, I'll be dandruff. Well, I'll be dandruff. I'm back. What up, though? West Coastin'. What's up, people? Smash that like button, man. I went on a little too late today. Mavs in 6, I see it. That shit over with. Young teams always wait till they get down 3-0 to start playing good. That's how you know you got a young team. It's two different scenarios. When you're hooping, the team is young. If when they get down by 10, they start shooting a lot of threes. Then they lose close games. It's midnight there, huh? Okay, okie dokie. It's midnight. There's only three categories of undesirable people in the world. There's three categories. There's people who do shit wrong, like willfully, disrespectfully, with vengeance and manipulative intent. Those type of people who do things wrong. There's people who owe you. People who owe money. Don't care about paying it back. They owe time. They waste your time. They steal your time. These are called debtors. So we'll call convicts debtors. And the third category are vagrants. Normally, if somebody is a bad person and they owe a lot of people, they're vagrants. They don't have nowhere to go, or they could just be homeless. But when I say homeless, I mean like mentally. They haven't landed on a thought or an identity. They just soaking up a little bit of everybody. These are three undesirable classifications of people: convicts, vagrants, and debtors. People who do wrong, people who owe you, and people who have nowhere to go. Let's talk about these classifications. Now, when I say convicts, that's just a word, that's a representation of people who do wrong. They got wrong intent, they're spiteful, they gossip, they want to destroy things. How do you know if somebody falls into the classification of convict? Let's look at what a felony is. A felony is a crime that is committed that has some type of violence attached to it and can get you from 1 year in prison to life in prison. That's the definition of a felony. Now let's look at life. In life, mental abuse is not considered a violent crime, but it is. Because most crimes, specifically violent crimes, are the result of mental abuse. It is actually the manifestation of mental abuse, whether it's delayed from childhood or something that is more closer, maybe a spouse or a friend, but most violence is the result of somebody being mentally abused. And the origins of that violence and that abuse are normally people who have the mentality of a convict, which means they've done something that's worthy of prison time or death, but it's normally mental. See, it's a lot of people trying to beat you out of your position in life. So they try to get rid of the competition. This happens a lot in gangs. They recruit local niggas or niggas who ain't from the original turf, and they use them as torpedoes to get rid of the competition. And they put peer pressure and they use different tactics to manipulate a person into feeling like they're in the good graces of the convict. But in actuality, the convict is using you like a remote control car to run their plays. Yeah, we'll call them mind controllers. They're every wow. So you got to watch these people with the convict mentality. I'm not talking about niggas that go to jail. There are niggas that go to jail, they don't have the convict mentality. A convict in this conversation is just somebody who does wrong. Then you have debtors. Debtors are people who practice mental abuse and they tiptoe around and they try to indebt people to them. They do things so you owe them. They count favors. They don't count what you do for them. They only count what they do for you. They do shit like when you spend bread on them or when you invest in them, they say shit like, I didn't ask you to do that. I didn't ask you to do that. You just did that on your own. Well, motherfucker, you've been talking about you need a new barbecue pit for 10 years and you keep coming over here and borrowing mine. Now that I buy you one and I need a favor in return, your response is, I didn't ask you to do that. These are debtors from my definition for this discussion. Everybody on them. They're going to call me, Kraig owe me money. Yeah. He told me he was going to do this, and he didn't do that, and he owes me money. You ain't had that conversation with Kraig. Ain't have it with me. Somebody that's going around having conversations about what's owed to them with everybody but the person they say is owing them is a debtor. If I owe you, sue me. If I really owe you, you can get it in court. But when you out here hustling, when you are an entrepreneur, deals fall through. It's always Kraig. I'm going to put that on the shirt. It's always Kraig's fault. Deals fall through. When niggas do real estate, when they do loans, when they sell cars, whenever you work in an entrepreneurial fashion, when you work on commissions like comedians, rappers do, we just glorified salespeople selling a brand, deals fall through. Period, point blank. They end. Labels don't always tell you when shit's going to be over. On Thursday, it could be all good. And by Friday, they're like, we got to cancel and fire everybody. That's the way the game works. That don't mean the person owe you. Then you got to assess your value. What value do you have as a debtor? If everybody owes you, that means that you're not investing enough in yourself. Don't nobody owe me shit. I take my little pennies, my little dollars, and I put them into me and shit I believe in. But people running around here, we all know these motherfuckers. They say everybody on. The last people they was fucking with, they all bad. Oh, they all bad. They all bad. Motherfuckers didn't use my talent right. No, nigga, you didn't invest in yourself right. So where we at? We got two classifications. We got convicts, which are people who do wrong. We got debtors, which is motherfuckers that's always telling people that somebody else owe them big. And the last category is a vagrant. A vagrant is somebody with no place to go. Niggas with no place to go normally check off the first two boxes I told you. They're normally a debtor and a convict. And they've weighed and exhausted all their options, and now they have no place to go. There's not a door they could knock in where a motherfucker would answer and be happy to see them. That's a debtor. I mean, that's a vagrant. Now, what does society or what do smart people do with debtors, convicts, and vagrants? They get rid of them. They build prisons. They put them on boats and send them to islands and say, fuck off. This is how America was established. There's a thing called penile transportation or just transportation. This is a practice that England would do in the 17 and 1800s. They would round up all the homeless motherfuckers, empty the prisons, put the motherfuckers on boats, and ship them off. This is how America got established. It was boats full of vagrants, debtors, motherfucking convicts with a couple religious people into the fall. And that's what white American origins come from. God. Yeah, we having a conversation today. Most definitely. Now, when this country was established, the first felony was committed somewhere around 1680, 1670. First felony. What is a felony? A felony is a crime with violence attached to it that's punishable by 1 year of prison or even death. Now, once you get these mixes of vagrants, debtors, and convicts with a sprinkle of religion into it, religious people, clergymen, they get to this country and a felony is committed almost immediately. What you guys don't understand about when this country was established is when they put all these different motherfuckers on boats and shipped them off, everybody had to sign a pact. A pact was an agreement to follow the agreed to laws by everyone who got on these ships and came to this country. There was no constitution. Respect, man. Appreciate the dub. There was no constitution. There was no actual laws in place. So all the passengers on the ship, just the men, because women weren't allowed to sign pacts back then. They weren't considered to be citizens. So only men. Men had to sign a pact that said, hey, we're following these laws. You can't act like a vagrant, you can't be a convict, and you damn sure can't be a debtor. We're starting a new life, and these are the rules you have to follow. Now, there was one motherfucker when we got here. His name was Bill. Look him up. Bill is the first person in the history of this country to be convicted of a felony. He was convicted of murder. He murdered a man by the name of John Newcomb. Seattle Fast, what's going on, pimpin'? Bill murdered a man. His name was John Billington. He murdered a man named John Newcomb. They both when they got here, they both signed these pacts on the Mayflower. So both these motherfuckers was on the Mayflower, and I'm guessing the argument, because nobody knows specifically what it was, but I'm guessing that it was probably a convict versus a clergyman or a religious person. It was probably two people who had a difference in opinion on lifestyles. It resulted in John murdering. John murdering Mr. Newcomb, and hence was the first felony. There wasn't a prison system at the time, so they just hung him. While we're having this conversation, man, look up what I'm saying. G, everything I'm saying is, I can prove that. Dogs don't trust Tony. God, 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 he said, Kraig talking to God. So this is what I'm saying. Back then, the way they dealt with undesirable motherfuckers was transportation. Penile transportation. They put them on a boat and they got them the fuck out of Dodge. And this is what I'm telling you. If you fucking with somebody or you're around people who don't have your best interest at heart, you can't put them all on a boat and ship them out. But you can do something different. I know that anger, sometimes that could be addicting, that you want to fuck somebody up and you got people around because they're motherfuckers you can blame all your problems on. But if you're a person and everybody around you is indebted to you, they owe you something, you hate them, you don't like how they act, you're the problem. Sometimes you need to put yourself on a boat and transfer yourself the fuck out so you can get your mind right. Penal, nigga, not penile, like penis, you punk motherfucker. Remember that, man. You can leave and go somewhere no matter how fucked up your existence is, and you can have a new start. This country was not established by pilgrims. It was established by vagrants, convicts, and debtors, motherfucker. These are all people who were social misfits that had fucking backgrounds that were trash, so trash that the British government rounded them all up, put them on ships, and got them the fuck out of England. If you keep fucking up and falling out with motherfuckers, maybe you need a new start. If you didn't call up more than 10 people in the last 6 months and tried to convince them that somebody else wasn't shit, you're the motherfucker that needs to ship up and ship out. Real niggas don't call people and try to convince them to not fuck with other people. Because real motherfuckers don't feel like anybody owes them nothing. Ain't nobody indebted to me. Don't nobody owe me shit. On gangster, he said. When you call somebody, if they don't answer, that don't mean they're ignoring your call. They probably just didn't hear you, motherfucker. They probably didn't hear the call. When you walk in a room and people start laughing, it was probably a good joke that happened. They ain't laughing at you. If you feel like when you get home, you got to call everybody and say, what was that conversation about when I walked in the room? Were you guys talking about me? You need to pack your shit up and go somewhere else. If you done sent more than 10 text messages and 2 emails trying to destroy somebody's reputation because you don't like the way they spoke to you, you're a debtor. Jarrell, buddy, he said he wasted 100. Now you hating. Nah, that was a great 100, man. I appreciate that. Love and respect, for real. Matter of fact, man, Jarrell, we gonna go ahead and block your punk ass, nigga. Don't you ever come up in my shit hating on me, nigga. Got me fucked up. Appreciate the blessing, man. Love and respect to my guy, man. What did he say? I was stationed in England in 2001 around the same time as homie Dozy. Over there, they show black people as the Indians in America, but there's one main painting that haven't been deleted off the internet. It's called Emblem of America. I'm gonna check that out, man. And shout out to Doze, man. Doze is a good nigga. I love Doze, man. Very good dude. Yeah, for real. Thank him for his service. That military life ain't no joke, man. So we respect, man, for real. Go get the hate from God. As I'm writing this new bit, I was just doing some research on history. I was like, let me log in and talk about this. Let me log in and talk about this. Because there's a lot of people who don't have nowhere to go, nobody to confide in. They feel like the world owes them. They feel like everybody is indebted to them. You know what I'm saying? They just, you know what I mean? And how does somebody get into that mind state where they can focus and ruminate over somebody else's decisions and take them personal? You know what I mean? That's a person that needs to hop on the new Mayflower and just go. Go somewhere where you can clear your mind, find a new perspective, and talk about the Nazis. What you want to talk about the Nazis? Man, give me some questions about the Nazis. The Nazis are a very interesting group of people. You know what I'm saying? What you want, man? I mean, don't just give me a topic. Let's go into it. Go to Mexico. Good as always with you. Likewise, Tiffany. When somebody feel like you owe them, dog, they're going to project. They're going to project. They're going to start talking about what you always do, what you never do, what everybody else says you do, what your ex-girl said about you. They're always going to talk about things because really their projections are really admitting. When somebody feels like you owe them and they project, they're really admitting their thoughts about what they do and their actions. And in some weird way, when they project, it alleviates the accountability and they just kind of like throw it on your back. But I feel like they get some relief for it. Like they use you like a back brace or a knee brace to cushion the weight of the load. And so if they see you suffering and arguing about these projections, I didn't do it, I don't feel that way. They know you don't feel that way, but those are really admissions. Don't argue with a motherfucker that's projecting, always telling you what you don't do and why you don't do. And, don't argue with them. Try your best not to do it. They're just admitting what they be on. Do you feel like Corey bullied me on 5150? Hell no, man. That's his show. Y'all got that twisted, man. Ain't nobody bullying me. That's Corey Holcomb's show, 5150. I'm a co-host on that. It's him, that's him and Darlene. I don't go on their show to argue with them. I go on their show just to contribute some humor and speak when it's my turn. You got to know your position. You don't go on somebody else's platform trying to be Michael Jordan. I just contribute what I contribute and shit, and that's all I do, man. That's not a debate show. We're not on there to debate each other. We're on there to expand on comedy, creative ideas, and just orate. You feel what I'm saying? So, no, I don't have that mentality. But, people who say shit like that, I'm a team player. I hooped growing up, so I know how to play team ball. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never trying to put another man's suit jacket on. I got a closet full of my own suit jackets. I play my role respectfully with everybody I fuck with that invites me to fuck with them. Not just Corey, All Def Digital, Defiant Digital, Big Ja, and some of the other shit I'm invited to. I play my role. I don't try to take over and make it about me. That's not how you be a star. You're a star if you can take the role you've got and maximize it and max it out. Some of you niggas trying to be stars ain't figured out how to maximize what you've been given. You steadily looking at what somebody else got and saying, I want that role. And you campaigning and vying to take another nigga's spot when you should be thankful for what you got and play your motherfucking role to the best of your ability. Corey Holcomb, 14, 15 years older than me, dog. We 2-3 different generations apart. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. He said, somebody said, shut your mouth and play your role. Somebody said, never outshine the master. Indeed. I know what I'm doing, man. I know how to navigate. If you want to be successful in entertainment, you got to leave your ego at the door or you're going to fuck yourself over. You ain't never going to go nowhere. Never. Kraig knows got most of his IQ. That's funny. Now, my IQ is in my eye. My eye got IQ. Real is rare. Real is rare. It's everywhere, though. It's rare and everywhere. Real is rare and everywhere, but people ignore it because of the source. You know what I'm saying? Real, you never know where real is going to come from. People look upwards for real, but real is everywhere. Upwards, downwards, sideways, under your feet, to your right, to your left. It's everywhere. But some people are classist, and they feel like, hey, only certain motherfuckers could tell me certain shit, which is, I understand that aspect as well. You want to be successful, you get around successful people, and it rubs off on you. But real is still everywhere. A lot of you niggas miss it. You know, people will tell you, oh, it's going over your head. Nah, real could go over your head, under your feet. You can miss it in a lot of different ways. Yeah, that's why you would say certain people are alike when they keep it in a buck. Yeah, man, of course I do stand up, man. Hell yeah, I do stand up. I'm raw as a motherfucker on that stage and growing every day. That's why I do so many lives, because I do stand up. People's definition of real. It depends on what your definition of real is. For me, real is, man, I'd love to see y'all's definition of real. You know what I mean? To me, real is anything that doesn't support a fantasy. Real is not in existence to support a fantasy, but niggas who aren't real will try to take the real and use it to support something that's not real. You feel what I'm saying? Real is evidence. I really fuck with that, Breezy. Real is evidence. Real is realistic. I can dig that. My definition of realism is every moment. Yep. Yeah, to me, real is anything that doesn't support a fantasy. That's real. Somebody said real is stupid. It's in the context of keeping it real is stupid. You got people who are super pro-black, people who are super gangster, and they run everything through their perception and not their perspective. There's a big difference between perception and perspective. Perception can be jaded because a lot of times people have a confirmation bias and they perceive things in a way that make all their choices right. But when somebody has perspective, they allow knowledge to improve, change, or further their logic. But they don't ignore things because it doesn't match their perspective. So if you get too caught up into perception, you'll fuck yourself. Reality is definitely really perspective. I agree with that 100%. But that's where you get people who don't see eye to eye. You get people who say shit like, well, I don't like the way you said that. You don't like the way I said that because your perspective is off. Your perception of yourself is too high where you think that information is supposed to be given to you how you like it. No, the real comes to you how it comes. But you'll miss it if you're too trapped in your perception of yourself, especially if it's grandiose. All the dope shit gonna go under you because you feel like you too above the message. You want a motherfucker to humble themselves and bow at your feet to improve your perspective. That's an off perception. You can't control the real. It's above you. That grandiose shit, Kelly, you know what it is, baby girl. You know what it is. Well, here's the thing, Eric. If you don't, if the truth jeopardizes a relationship, that's a motherfucker you don't want to fuck with anyway. Just we get comfortable. Motherfucker, we get comfortable because we get used to a motherfucker's conversation. We get used to their sense of humor. We get comfortable with them, and then we just stop keeping it real. That's the worst thing you could do. All good, Carrie Lockhart. And here's the thing about real. Real is normally what you're not supposed to say. Because social environments are about comfort, right? So if something is established socially and you come into it, you're like, this is bullshit. It's gonna make everybody that's already comfortable a little bit uncomfortable. But what I'm saying is, you know the people in your life that are living a lie. You know them. You know the people that are living a lie because anybody that challenges that lie will become their enemy. They are looking for people to support the illusion, to support the grandiose view of themselves. They try to surround themselves with people that are going to be like, oh, you're the greatest, or they surround themselves with people like that. They want to be unchallenged. Then you get people who think challenging everything makes them real. No, challenging everything doesn't make you real. What makes you real is not supporting an illusion. If you step into supporting a fantasy, if you step into a situation and you ignore the realness and you undermine it because you want to be in control of the situation, that ain't real. Destroying what's real is not real. And real can be destroyed. This nigga just said, Odell Beckham Jr. What the fuck do Odell Beckham Jr. got to do with this conversation? It makes you annoying, right? You gonna get it all the time, man. In the streets, niggas try to shoot motherfuckers, challenge motherfuckers to fights, call motherfuckers bitch ass niggas. You know, that's a way that motherfuckers challenge the real. You just gotta protect yourself at all times, man. Somebody said Vivica Fox. I mean, Vivica Fox would be a great example because her beauty, her natural beauty is real. It's super real. She's one of the most beautiful women God ever created. I mean, Vivica was a fucking a gorgeous woman. But you see, when she put the fake on, it didn't improve it. She probably feels like it's improved because it's enough to support that fantasy of what she thinks we see. But if she really, truthfully was fucking with people that loved her, they would tell her, nah, baby, don't do that to yourself. Somebody said Drake. So, should I be the next Devo on Friday? Let's run it. In her prime, she was up there. We all know that. Angela Bassett is older than her, and look how beautiful she is. Man, respect though. BBL Drizzy. But yeah, I just logged in because I had that thought, man. Sometimes you gotta just transport yourself somewhere. If you feel like you're a vagrant, if somebody's a vagrant, if somebody's a convict or a debtor, don't let them affect your lives, man. Remove yourself or get them removed. If I owe you something, get it from God. God, God. Look how beautiful Nia Long still is. God.